It's Thursday, and that means Local 6 Legal Line on this midday segment. Our attorneys from the Bryant Law Center are our guests, Austin Kennedy and Kevin Shannon, directly to my left, answering your questions at 1-888-208-6946. And right off the bat, we have a question from Paul, who says, am I entitled to any sort of settlement or compensation from work comp other than my wage loss while I'm off work?
Well, simple answer to that, yes, you're entitled to your medicals. They should pay for any medical treatment that's reasonable and necessary for the cure and relief of the injury or ailment. Doesn't mean that they won't try to deny certain things, require the doctor to do conservative treatment first as opposed to just jumping in and doing surgery. But yes, you're entitled to wage loss while you're off work for doctor's orders. It's typically called a temporary total disability, or TTD. It's paid at 2/3 the average weekly wage. So if you make, hypothetically, if you earn $600 a week gross, they should be paying you $400 a week. But once you're done with your medical treatment, there are additional benefits you can receive depending on the nature of your injury. But if you want to give us a call, we can talk more about that.
Our next question comes from an anonymous viewer who says, do I need a lawyer if I was involved in a minor car accident but had to go to the ER for just minor injuries? Kevin, what do you think?
Well, the operative word there in my mind is need. I don't know how you define need. You don't necessarily need one. You're not legally required to have one. But the fact that it's a minor accident doesn't mean that the insurance company doesn't have help. They have people working on it from the word go. So I think that a lawyer can certainly help you. And regardless of whether you end up hiring a lawyer or not, you can make the phone call, talk to a lawyer. That first phone call typically is not going to cost you a dime. So make the phone call and talk to the lawyer. See what you think the lawyer might be able to do to help you, and then you can make a decision about whether you want one or need one.
Our next question comes from Barry, who brings us full circle back to the workman's compensation area, who wants to know, am I responsible for paying the attorney fee in a work comp case, or does work comp pay for the attorney fee?
Well, typically it's going to come out of, if the case is settled, it's going to come out of any kind of lump sum or weekly award. You can try to negotiate it as far as something that the defendant employer or the workers' compensation insurance carrier for the employer will pay in addition to the settlement. But typically it's not something that's extra. It is included as part of the settlement with the work comp. Now, if it goes in front of a administrative law judge and the judge makes his or her decision and it comes back favorable for the injured worker, then the judge can also require that whatever the weekly amount or benefits that's awarded be taken out, like a pro rata share of that each week to pay the lawyer for the attorney fee. But it kind of just depends. I'd say in most cases, from what I see, it's going to be taken just straight out of the lump sum of a settlement or judgment, though.
Roger wants to know, because he is paid mainly in cash by his employer, is he still entitled to lost wages after being in an accident?
The answer to that would be yes, you still have a claim. When you're paid cash, it does make it a little more difficult to prove the claim. But if you can get a wage verification from your employer or the person you work for, and then especially if you can show a track record of having paid taxes on your wages, you certainly can make that claim. Now, you'll need a doctor's off work statement, but the fact that you're paid cash does not mean that you cannot make a wage loss claim. In fact, you can. It just makes it a little more difficult to get the proof together.
Austin Kennedy, Kevin Shannon have been our guests from the Bryant Law Center on this edition of Local 6 Legal Line. We'll be back in about 20-25 minutes. We'll take more of your questions regarding personal injury, so give us a shout then at the number on your screen. Meanwhile, you can revisit this item on our website very shortly. Look under Legal Line at WPSDLocal6.com.